Hi, welcome to Quick and Easy Comics, where I introduce to you comics that are not only easy to get and understand, but are also really fun. And today we're going to be talking about one of my favorites of recent years, all new Ghost Rider. A guy who's not even technically a Ghost Rider.
Cálmate, gato. No quieres hacer esto.
Simón, lo quiero hacer ese.
This book's about this kid named Robbie Reyes, who is just this young teenager, Latino in LA. He's just working, trying to get his act together, while trying to go to school, work, all while supporting his special needs little brother, which is so adorable. There's a lot of really great panels you see where they interact and talk to each other. And it's about him discovering the spirit. Now, what is the spirit of vengeance? Fun fact, Robbie Reyes is not technically a Ghost Rider, at least not our traditional one. Usually Ghost Riders are these people who make this deal with the devil, or the Marvel Comics version of the devil, Mephisto. And what they do is that they exchange their soul to become the spirit of vengeance, and they go and they take out evildoers, and usually they ride motorcycles. In fact, the most famous, debatably famous Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze, kind of made a deal with Mephisto to save the life of his surrogate father, and he went around as the spirit of vengeance. In fact, this Johnny Blaze actually met up with Robbie Reyes in the first run of his book when Robbie was being overwhelmed by the evilness that was corrupting his soul. Now, you're saying evilness that corrupted his soul. What are you talking about? You see, Robbie was out driving one night. He's a street racer. He's a mechanic. He borrowed a car so that he could win some money so he could get him and his brother out of the hood. And then there was something wrong. Something goes wrong with the race. Robbie, he has his pills in the back of his truck, superpowered pills. These weapon marketers, these drug dealers guys, they show up and they shoot him, and they kill him, totally dead. And then he doesn't know what to do. He's not even thinking about his own life. He's thinking about his little brother. So damn endearing. He's just thinking about his little brother. He's just, no, and then he dies. Fortunately, there was a man, and Eli Morrow, who was a Satanist. And he sees an opportunity here. So what he does is that he imbues his satanic soul inside Robbie Reyes and the car. They're connected. And then he brings him back to life, going under the guise of being, oh, I'm an angel. I brought you back to life so we could wreak vengeance on terrible people. But what Robbie doesn't know is that the moment that spirit of vengeance kills the man that killed him, their souls will be bonded together forever. Now, I don't know about you, but I would not want my soul bonded with a satanic serial killer. At least not today. Felipe Smith and Tradd Moore are the creators of this character, and you have to really thank them for all the work they've done crafting such a likable and grounded character, because we see so many superheroes these days that are flying into space and that are punching suns to save entire planets. But Robbie Reyes is focused on his own world, and his world is his brother, and that's just so relatable. You get to see him walk the streets of LA and just try to worry about surviving, because in some areas in LA you really have to just worry about self-preservation and just, is my family okay, is my mom okay, is my little brother cannot walk home to school, but he has to, you know what I mean? Like, in certain areas, there are things you have to do, even though they could very much put you at risk. And plus, another reason I think Robbie Reyes is just so great is because there's this sort of, how do I explain it? There's this sort of groundedness a lot of heroes have lost. They're so busy fighting the supervillains, they kind of forget about the little guy. And Robbie Reyes just goes around in this sweet-ass car, fighting cholos, drug dealers, weapon traffickers, and just taking them all out and making his community safe, which is always great, especially very appealing to me because I love my community and I love seeing great things happen to it. So, like, just watching a hero that cares about his area so much rather than some evil villain twirling his mustache in the shadows is great, because there are some guys that's going to take care of that. But who's going to take care of the drug dealers on the street? You know, no one. But Robbie Reyes is, and he's coming for them. For the first story arc, couple issues of when it first came out, Tradd Moore does the art, and he does a really great job of not only drawing these characters in that kind of basic appealing style that a lot of people like, but it is also very nuanced into the sharpness, sort of spray paints, urban type art that is really interesting. And not only does it present itself as something that's really pleasing to the eye, but it's stylized so slightly and sophisticatedly that you can really see how it brings together this urban, homey feel of East LA. Because these people, they actually live there. They know what they're talking about. And it's always great to have writers and artists that have lived in the area and they know what they're depicting and what they're drawing from. Because it really just helps bring a connection between the reader and the content, which I love. I love being able to connect and say, hey, I know a street like that, you know? Like, I know people like that. Especially with the dialogue. Oh, God, the dialogue. Especially when you're doing Spanish speakers, some shows or cartoons, they'll put like, hola, like, caramba, you know, and they'll put like those action words that you don't really care about, and you're just like, oh, great, stereotypical. No, there are actual words and sentences that you would hear an actual Spanish speaker speak, and I love that. It's so authentic, and it's so relatable that it's great. It's so appealing that I picked up every issue. Also, through the other, right in the middle of the main 12-issue run, yes, 12 issues, so you can catch up like that. It doesn't even matter. You don't have to read a million things. Right in the middle of the 12th issue, I believe Val Staples, Damian Scott, Corey Hemsher, and Val Staples take over the lettering, coloring, etc. And it leans very heavily towards that graffiti, loose, pointed art style. So although it starts out very basic, as you get into the story, it adjusts to that urbanized style, and you are okay with it. In fact, when you come to think about the urbanization of Mexican and black culture and how that fits into the world, the spirit of vengeance really fits in well with this type of character. It just fits so well, and I'm surprised nobody's ever thought of it before. And he's so cool. Robbie Reyes is just so cool. Really quickly, just talking about other versions of Robbie Reyes, we talked about Nicolas Cage, who had a 2007 adaptation of Johnny Blaze, and he did fine. So if you kind of remember the Flaming Skull and Motorcycle and Everything movie, if you remember, that's what it's from. That's what it... insert clip here.
The goddamn army!
I know the place.
You're not gonna mention this conversation to anyone, are you? No. Oh, yeah. All right, well, that was a good answer. Yeah, good.
John!
We gotta go.
Also, there has been a recent reincarnation of Robbie Reyes in Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is an interesting take. I watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4 was because Robbie Reyes was in it. I don't know, he was all over the promos, and it was pretty cool. I legitimately watched this show because he was in it, and there are a few changes here and there that somewhat undermined where he's coming from, and sort of kind of takes away from what makes Robbie Reyes special. But there are some moments that are drawn directly out of the comic. There are some lines, and there are a lot of character details that are brought to life. So I can kind of understand why they made that changes and forgive it, because I still get to see them. You know, it's similar to Justice League, where not everything's perfect, but the fact that I get to see them on live action, that screen, just made me tear up a little bit, because that's just so cool. That's what you want. Robbie Reyes seems to be gaining popularity, which is great, and he seems to be having a bigger billing in the greater Marvel universe, which is really cool. I feel kind of bad for like Johnny Blaze because he's been around forever and he's been in so many different teams and everything, and I think he's had consistent popularity, but Robbie Reyes has been out for like a couple years, and there are already people like gushing over him and having like fanfics about, I don't know, there seems to be a lot of tension about him, so I feel kind of bad for Johnny Blaze. Okay, but that's not my pedo. All right, if you're interested in reading more, I will put the links down to why not? Val Staples and Felipe Smith. I'll put their links down below if you want to check out their Twitters and their art. And you can always just type in on Tumblr or Reddit or something, Robbie Reyes Ghostwriter. I'm sure you'll find lots of art and everything, and it'll be great. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I've piqued your interest about comics, because comics are great. And stay tuned for next episode where we talk about another comic. It'll be a hint. It'll be another comic, and it'll be a secret. But let me tell you something. I don't know.